Hello, everyone. Welcome to the video. My name is Danny, and today I'm going to be talking about how to use your emotions to manifest a lot faster. A lot of y'all had some questions for me from the last live that I did yesterday. And so I just wanted to, kind of make it a thing that we can talk about these things on the live streams. You all know that my channel is mostly meditations. I do subliminals and AI manifestation music, but I am a person who loves to teach. And so I think this is a good way for us to kind of, go more into depth with mindset manifestation and manifesting our desired reality by putting this stuff into practice. I also want you all to know that I do have a SKOOL community, SKOOL community. You can check the description box down below. It is free to join at the moment, meaning that once you join for free, you are grandfathered into the community. We do mindset, manifestation, esoterical topics and principles, challenges. I have classes, workshops, all dedicated to your mindset, manifestation, along with, so if you join, it's along with learning about AI, learning about tools to help you to manifest more money in your life, to create more opportunities for you to have multiple sources of income. So you'll be learning about digital products, learning how to create your own platforms, specifically those of you who like to create music or any type of graphic arts or anything like that, faceless channels. Money is floating around the internet, and I want you all to be able to take advantage of creating a mindset that allows you to believe that you can have more money coming in from everywhere and giving you the tools in the day and age that we're living in with the AI era that we're in to learn how to navigate using those tools. The SKOOL community, I want you all to really go ahead and get into the community now. The Solar Line AI Mastery Lab is what the community is called. So it's something that I think right now people really need, because I don't see a lot of people online teaching esoterical metaphysical principles, the mindset, along with creating your desired reality when it comes to being prosperous, financially free, or having multiple sources of income, or leaving your 9 to 5 that you hate. A lot of people just give you the tools. They don't really tell you how to reprogram your subconscious mind or how to continue on your path when things get confused, when you get, doubtful, right? So yes, go ahead and join the SKOOL community, and let's get into the topic that we're talking about. So how do you use your emotions to manifest? Well, first and foremost, I want you all to get into the habit of putting a priority on becoming aware of what you're thinking throughout the day. There are some people that like to use reminders in their phone. I'm one of those people that, because I work for myself, I have to keep reminders in my phone. However, some people are not disciplined enough to do that. So I would tell people that the easiest way to remember how to regulate your nervous system around like your thoughts or your feelings or your emotions is right before you go to bed. So if you right now are watching me at a late night, like some people are in a different time zone, so I don't know where you all are in the world, but if you're watching me and it's late at night, this is the perfect opportunity for you to start to think about, what am I going to manifest for myself? The easiest way for you to get to the things that you desire to have a lot faster is to become very aware right before bed what you're thinking. What are you thinking about right now? Are you thinking about the day, or are you thinking about, okay, what am I going to rest my mind on? I know for me, I would like to be able to manifest some things very quickly for myself in the next 7 days. So each night, what I've been doing is right before bed is I've been thinking about that thing as if I already have it. So if you aren't a person that can be disciplined enough to put reminders in your phone, then why not right before you go to bed, just program your subconscious mind 5 minutes before you go to bed? That's number one. Number two, with the emotions, what emotion are you feeling right now? Are you feeling calm? Are you feeling angry? Are you frustrated? Are you sad? What are you feeling right now? And even if you're feeling a negative, quote unquote, negative emotion, you can still persist through that negative emotion. Let's just take the emotion of frustration. Through your tears or through your anger or through your frustration, you can still feel that emotion, and that heightened emotion that helps to penetrate your subconscious mind a lot faster. I don't know if you guys know that, but when you are highly connected to something that you're thinking about, like emotionally, you are sending a very strong signal to your subconscious mind that this is important. So use it when you are upset, when you're mad, when you're angry, when you're guilty, when you feel shame, when you feel any type of deep emotion. An emotion for me is grief that I have right now because I just lost my father 2 months ago, December 14th. So what is it now? Yeah, it's been a little bit over 2 months. So I am going through a grieving process where I'll just burst out into tears or I'll get super emotional thinking about my dad. And so what I've learned to do is to use that heightened state of emotion and turn it into gratitude. So I'm turning all of my grief and my sorrows and getting it out of my system. But then I'll start to think about all the things I'm grateful for, or all the things my dad taught me that I'm grateful for. It takes discipline, but really it's just more so a shift into understanding that your emotions are helping you to create your reality. The sooner we understand that our emotions are here to guide us and to help us, the sooner we'll understand that it's not to be repressed. I would not want you to hold or bottle in your emotions or your feelings. That's how you create dis-ease in your life. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did for the last two live streams, and I want to read from Neville Goddard, The Power of Awareness. It's this book right here for anyone who's interested. The Power of Awareness. And instead of just flipping to a random page, because I was like, okay, I have so many great nuggets in this book that can be broken apart. But I went to chapter 5, The Truth That Sets You Free. And I got my reading glasses today, so I don't have to put them on. So it says here, the drama of life is a psychological one in which all the conditions, circumstances, and events of your life are brought to pass by your assumptions. Since your life is determined by your assumptions, you are forced to recognize the fact that you are either a slave to your assumptions or their master. To become the master of your assumptions is the key to understand freedom and happiness. You can attain this mastery by deliberately controlling your imagination. You determine your assumptions in this way. Form a mental picture. He's telling you how to do this now. We're going to go back to what assumptions are. You can do this. You can control your imagination by forming a mental picture. Okay? A picture of the state desired of the person you want to be. Concentrate your attention upon the feeling that you are already that person. Listen up. First, visualize the picture in your consciousness. Remember, we talked about your consciousness being your awareness. Even when you close your eyes, that's your consciousness. So imagine how you would feel and envision a person that you would be. Then feel yourself to be in that state as though it actually formed in your surrounding world. By your imagination, that which were a mere mental image is changed into a seemingly solid reality. All right, let's break this down. First and foremost, the great thing about what Neville is saying is that this is all in your internal world. So nobody has to know you're doing this. You don't have to be ashamed of what you desire to have. Nobody knows that you're imagining this. There's only you and your thoughts and your feelings and your imagination doing this. So your assumption is anything you determine to be true. Anything that you decide that's true. Anything, an assumption literally by definition is, for the law of assumption, is anything you decide to be true, good or bad. If you decide that this is true for you, then guess what's going to happen? As you think about it, as you mull over it over and over and over, it becomes something that you start to feel into. You start to get thoughts about it. You start to have emotional reactions to it because your assumptions are creating your reality based upon what you believe to be true. And anything that you persist in, meaning anything that you do over and over and over as a habit or as a thought or as a feeling, anything that you do repetitiously will become a hardened fact for you because the body loves repetition. The body, the mind, your entire world is built upon repetition in your habits. If you have a habit of driving the same way to work every single day, do you really not think that at some point you're going to be able to do your driving on autopilot? Do you really not think that that's going to happen? Yes, absolutely. You're going to be able to one day just zone out, and before you know it, you're going to be at home like, how the hell did I get home? You got home because you have a repetitious nature of going the same way. And because you go the same way every single day, you have built a habit and a subconscious program that is getting you to work without you even having to think about it. Now imagine if you was doing all of that for your entire world. Imagine if every single time you decided to think about money, imagine if you were literally saying in your mind, I have more than enough money, things are working out in my favor. I have more than enough money, things are working out in my favor. You can look at your bank account and see negative, whatever, and just be like, nope. And then in your mind, just think about what you desire to have. Over time, your mind would say, okay, she's always saying that she has money. So let me put her in a direction to where she has money, because the repetition of you doing something, even in your mind, now physically doing something, you create muscle memory, but in your mind doing something, you also create an atmosphere where your mind is like, okay, this must be true because she's always focusing on it. And how fast does this happen for you all? Hold on one second, everyone. Let me just send this to my group members. Let's just see. So my thing is, how fast does this happen for you when you do repetition? As quickly as you believe things can happen for you, based upon you finding evidence in your world that things can happen quickly for you. Think about a time where you had something happen for you quickly and you weren't even that invested in it. So imagine if you actually focus on the end result repetitiously, things could happen for you overnight. They could happen for you instantly. They could happen for you in a way where you're just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened that fast. Start to affirm that things happen for me quickly, things happen for me instantly. And if you're afraid of things happening instantly that you don't want to have, create the assumption that things that I desire to have for my greater good happen for me instantly. That's the belief system that I have, that only great things happen for me for my greater good, that all things work out in my favor and all things work out for the greater good of anything that I'm doing in my life. So that means that anything that I think is bad in my life, health wise, money wise, I'm like, this is teaching me a lesson. This is helping me. And in this world that we're living in with the type of government that we have, thank you, Cherry. I appreciate you for being here. You said I have more than enough. Of course you do. And you're going to have more than more enough. When you affirm that you have, first and foremost, Cherry, you have a manifestation, AI manifestation channel that's amazing. And the fact that you're creating music consistently, those words that you're creating in your music are also penetrating your subconscious mind. This happens to me a lot because I create a lot of manifestation music around money. If I spend a whole day editing songs about money, usually the next day I'm getting a lot of money because I'm saturating my mind with this whole entire energetic field of just focusing on money and lyrics and songs and energy all day. That happened to me early this morning. I woke up and somebody paid me for a course, a course that I've done like a year ago. I'm like, oh, okay, you must have went to my website through the SKOOL community and just purchased something from me. But, things like that just let me know that you have to focus your thoughts and your energy on the thing that you desire more than you focus on what you don't desire to have. And so when you have an emotional connection to a circumstance in your life where you get frustrated or you get mad or you get sad or you get fearful, allow those emotions to come through. However, that is your prime time to say, oh, okay, I'm feeling sad. Let me use this emotion to manifest. You can't be like all these other people that are fearful of like using emotion, or the people who don't believe and they call things woo woo. I don't even believe that there's a such thing as woo woo anymore. Woo woo is a way to discredit people who believe in a higher power outside of religion. Calling somebody woo woo is a way to discredit the fact that we, as spiritual people, believe that we are connected to the Most High God. Like we are one and the same. There's no separation between us and God. The only difference is that we're human form and your higher power operates in all the other ethers and metaphysical part of you. That's the only difference, is that your higher power operates in the unseen. You operate from the seen world. But when you close your eyes and you dream, you are in a different realm. You are always able to transfer your energy to any realm you want to, any parallel you want to. The 3D that we live in is only one aspect of the universe. There are different. This realm that we live in is not the only realm. This is a 3D human realm. It's like the lowest realm that you can live in. So we have different things that we as spiritual people connect to. We're not like everybody else. I want you to get in the habit of allowing people to think what they want to think, but you know what you know. Affirming for your desired reality as if you already have it sounds crazy to a lot of people, but it's not crazy to people like you and I, because we understand that it's easy for us to complain. It's harder for people to just become aware of your thoughts and to make an effort to change the way you think about your life, right? Hold on 1 second. I'm about to do something. Hold on 1 second. So I had to take these lashes off. Y'all see me digging in my eye? I can't have that on the replay. I had on some lashes from earlier, but clearly they needed to be taken off. So here's the thing. I will tell you all that Neville Goddard is one of my favorite thought leaders, but I think people need to start looking into Joe Dispenza. I think you all should look into Joseph Murphy. I would love for you all to start looking into Bobby Hemmett, um, Phil Valentine. These are all people who are thought leaders as well, that are talking about metaphysical things that have to do with melanated people. Joe Dispenza, obviously, he's a white man, and we love him. But I'm talking about for melanated people who are listening to me as well. I'm a highly melanated person, and there are thought leaders who have been talking about the things that Neville Goddard talks about for eons as well. And I will tell you is that as a Black woman in this whole entire universe that I live in, I've never ever in my life ever thought that I was less than anyone else because of my skin color. Even though I see other people being mistreated because of their skin color, and I'm one of those people that is included in the group of people that get mistreated because of their skin color and all other things, but I've never ever internalized being mistreated because of my skin color. And I think that's because I've always considered myself like a child of the Most High, a spiritual being first. So I'm like, well, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about me. It's what God is doing in my life. It's what I'm able to connect to with my higher power. I've known that since I was a kid. I've always been able to internalize myself with God. And I want you all to get into the habit of focusing on your higher power first as if it's like an extension of you, not something outside of you. Um, Sherry, you said you never heard of Bobby Hemmett? Yeah, Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Hemmett is a black man who used to teach in the early '90s, and he's you know neuro knowledge. Neuro knowledge gets a lot of his content. He's a young man. He's young enough to be my son. Neuro knowledge is what, 24. So neuro knowledge, he studied Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic, all the like black conscious leaders that were around like in the early 2000s. So when I hear him speak and the way his platform has grown so much, I'm like, that's all Bobby Hemmett. He even shouts out Bobby Hemmett all the time. So if you love neuro knowledge, you would love Bobby Hemmett because that's where neuro knowledge gets a lot of his information from, amongst other things. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, neuro knowledge and Bobby Hemmett is the same because he definitely studied the greats. But Bobby Hemmett had an innate way of speaking to melanated people about us being like not from earth, like we're from a different realm. That's the reason why we're a very loving, kind, accepting group of people. That's why we're very talented. Music is like our thing as black people. We are like the we are the people who raise the consciousness of the world through music the way that we do because it's who we innately are. And music is the number one way to reprogram your subconscious mind. It's the number one way. It's the language that does not have a barrier, because it's a feeling that you have when you listen to music. So, like, let's just say that you're having an emotional outburst because this live is about how to use your emotions to manifest faster. Listen to music. Listen to your favorite songs from your childhood. Listen to songs that make you feel motivated. And this doesn't have to be AI manifestation music. This can just be any music. There's specific songs that I love from my childhood that just raise my vibration. Anything from like 90s hip hop and R&B is going to raise my vibration. One of my favorite albums was Mariah Carey's Music Box. So you pick whatever songs and nostalgia also helps as well to raise your vibration. So let's say you love listening to old school music. It could be rock, jazz, whatever artist that you love. Me, sometimes I'll throw on old school sitcoms, like sitcoms from the 90s that I used to love to watch. These are all things that can help you redirect your energy and your focus and your emotions to what you want them to be. Because if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to listen to music. If I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to take a nap. If I'm not in the best mood and I'm sad, I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to do something to redirect my energy and my focus so that I'm not all over the place. Remember, misdirected energy around your emotions, you're going to end up wasting energy. When you're crying and huffing and puffing, that is a lot of energy and it's very powerful to cry. Whenever you find yourself crying, especially when you're sad or when you're having a lower vibrational moment with like anger or anything in their tears, that is an inclination that you are right now powerful because tears are the language that God understands. God understands the language of tears, tears of joy or tears of sorrow. Tears only come from an emotional outburst 90% of the time. Now, sometimes you can just cry because your eye ducts are irritated, but for the most part, 90% of the time when you're crying, it's usually connected to an emotional outburst. Tears of joy, people do cry, but not as often. Mostly your tears are connected to an emotional outburst. Okay? And so whenever you have tears, take that as you have a powerful moment to make a decision to either affirm, pray, or declare the thing that you desire to have. And if you're feeling really frustrated and really sad or really upset, through your tears, don't beg, literally declare, I am, I have, I will, it's mine. Go into your closet, go into a bathroom, go into the shower, and let your tears and your anger, your frustration, whatever that is, let it flow through you. And while you're experiencing that emotion, affirm, I will. And what is the thing that you desire to have? I have. What is that thing? I will. I have. It's mine. Because when you do that, now you're in control of how you use your emotions. I want you to really get that message, because a lot of people are walking around mad at the world, and it's okay for you to be mad, but you can only be mad at the same thing for so long before you have to get up and start to take control over the direction that you put your energy into. If you all are in the room, just want to say hello to you. Make sure you say hello to me, and make sure you're liking the video. Share the video with somebody if you feel like this would help them. I'm helping you to reprogram your subconscious mind by using your emotions, which a lot of people are not taught how to use their emotions in this world. And they're also taught that you have to like heal in order to manifest, or that you have to be happy all the time to get what you desire. And there's a lot of really sad people in this world that are very rich. There's a lot of really hateful and mean people that are married to a man who worship the ground they walk on. There's a lot of really genuinely nice people in this world that are lonely and sad. So it doesn't mean that you have to be happy to get your manifestation. I'm here to just tell you that if you want to have a balanced life, to start to become aware of how you're feeling so that you can direct your energy towards what you desire to have. And by the way, do you know that the universe, God, frequency doesn't care if you're a good or a bad person? It's all frequency. So being a good person doesn't guarantee that you're going to have good things happen to you. And being a bad person doesn't guarantee you're going to have bad things happen to you. Some people are not bad, they're not good people, and they still have great things happen for them. And some people are amazing people, and bad things still happen to them, because God is no respecters of good or evil. God is no respecter of good or evil. It's all frequency. It's all thoughts, all energy, the way that you perceive things. Once you realize that, you will realize that you have to control how you feel about something. You have to direct that energy and that frequency to what you want. You could be sleeping on the floor right now in a shack, or homeless right now, and use that frustration to direct your thoughts to yourself being where you desire to be. Somebody told you that you'll never make it, you're always going to be a bum, you're never going to amount to anything. Use that anger and that frustration not to prove them wrong. Use it to direct it to what you desire to have. People, when people tell you that you're not going to do something, you say, I'll show you. You know what that energy is? That's anger. It's frustration. It's defiance. It's a very strong energy. And what do? You prove them right, or you prove them wrong. And they're just going about their life. They don't really care whether you're going to prove them right or wrong, but you care. And so most people who decide that they're going to do something to spite other people, that is frustration. It's anger. Use it. Use it, right? All right, so let's go into, there's one other thing that I wanted to read to you all before I let you go. This is from The Power of Awareness, Neville Goddard. I'm reading some passages for you all and kind of breaking it down, because some people feel like Neville is a little bit kind of difficult to understand sometimes. I mean, I guess if you have read a lot of books like I have, then you most likely can comprehend. But some people, they just feel like it's a little hard to interpret. So I'm going to break it down for you in my little black girl way, my little black girl magic way. All right, so we're doing chapter 10, and these chapters are very short. They're like a couple of pages, so it's not a big chapter. We're going to talk about creation, how creation is finished. And I have my little highlighted parts here. So let me just read them real quick. I want you all to really take this in, okay? And if you're in the room, just say hello. I love when people say hello to me. You don't have to continue to talk, but if you're watching me this late, just go ahead and say hello. All right? So it says creation is finished. Create, creativeness is only a deeper receptiveness for the entire contents of all time and all space, while experience in a time sequence actually coexists in an infinite and eternal now. Now, I know I just said all those words and it may seem confusing, but let's just keep going. In other words, all that you have ever been or ever will be, in fact, all that mankind ever was or ever will be, exists now. Oops. Now let's figure this out, because this is where people get confused about creation. Okay. Kelly B 117, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And thanks for the purple heart. That's an OG symbol. A lot of people, purple hearts and purple elephants is what I used to ask you all to put into the chat. So let's break this down, because I want you to really get this. It says, hold on one second. I lost my. Okay, I'm sorry guys, because I lost my train of thought. Kelly, it's okay. You didn't do it. It was me. It says here, in other words, all that you ever have been or ever will be, in fact, all that mankind ever was or ever will be, exists now. So let's break that down. You're not actually manifesting things. I know we use this word in the law of assumption community and law of attraction and, the manifesting community. We're not manifesting things. We are remembering who we are and making a conscious decision to only think thoughts in alignment with the version of ourselves that already has that thing. Because if creation is already finished from the moment that we conceive something, that means that it's already something that we know we can have internally on a higher metaphysical 4D, 5D level. It has already came to us, meaning that it's already in existence. So how do you get to it? You have to figure out a way to only think the thoughts, only feel the feelings, refute anything around you that would give you any inclination that you're not in that reality. So even if you want to be living in a nice apartment, but you live in a shitty ass apartment where you're not happy with your living circumstances, you have to ignore the feelings that you have about that and only put your feelings and your emotions towards the thing that you desire to have. And that does take discipline. But you have to practice discipline like anything else. You can't go to the gym and say, oh, I want muscles. And then the next day say, where the hell are my muscles? Your muscles are going to come over time. And if you're diligent and consistent, you'll see the muscles a lot quicker than just stopping going, stopping going, stopping going. The doubting, then I have faith. The doubting, then I have faith. 3 days I doubt, 2 days I have faith. It's like, you're giving mixed signals to your higher self. You're giving mixed signals. You're not giving a straight vessel for the thing to come to you, right? So it says here, this is what is meant by creation, and the statement that creation is finished means that nothing is ever to be created. It is only to be aligned with. What is called creativeness is only becoming aware of what is already here now. So if it's already here now, but you don't see it in your 3D, you should assume that it only takes a matter of a snap of the finger for you to align to the version and to stay faithful to that version that is already experiencing what you desire to have. Does that mean that you cannot have a doubtful moment? No, you can have a couple of doubtful moments, but as soon as you find yourself having more than a couple, then it's time for you to reel in those reins, literally just put the stop on it and reset yourself and say, no, if creation is finished and I am assuming the position of a person, the version of myself that has it, let me reset myself and just continue to think the thoughts that I need to think, despite what my circumstances are showing me. That takes a lot of discipline, but you can do it. If you really want something, and you truly desire to have it, you will do what it takes to get it. And at the bare minimum, all you have to do is redirect your thoughts. We're not running a marathon here. We're literally just redirecting our thoughts. It's a lot easier than preparing for a marathon. But a lot of people just want to be able to snap their fingers and then wake up the next day in their desired reality. You already can do that in your imagination. You do it all the time. Right now, those of you who have to go to work tomorrow, you already know what you're going to eat, you know what you're going to wear, and you know what type of day you're going to have because you already imagined it in your head. So if you can do that for the job that you know that you're going to experience the next day, why can't you create a scenario in your mind of the reality that you want to experience the next day, the next week, the next month, or the next year? Why can't you do that? Because somebody told you that it's impossible? No, nothing's impossible. We're always creating and manifesting things all the time. And by the way, you can use the term manifest. I'm not telling you all not to use it. You are manifesting things, but beyond manifestation, you're actually stepping into alignment with the thing that has already been created. You would not have an inkling to get a new car if it wasn't already available for you to have it. I don't want a new car. I have no desire to have a new car, but there's somebody out here that's listening to me that wants a new car. I have no desire to move to a different country, but there's somebody else out here that does. So your desires are yours for a reason because I don't have the same desires that you all have. And you don't have the same desires I do. We all are getting our desires from infinite intelligence. And you're only getting those desires because they're aligned with a version of you that is already experiencing that reality. In the 4D, there's a version of you that already has access to that reality. Right? Hey, Edoble P13, thank you so much for being here. So I'm gonna read a couple more and then we're gonna wrap it up. This chapter is chapter 10. It's called Creation. It's from The Power of Awareness. I absolutely love this book. I'm gonna be teaching from it. Why is there a sticker there? Is this a sticker from when I bought it? This is on sale. Or maybe this is from something else I bought. What did I buy? It says original price was $89. It was 60% off, so I only paid $35 for whatever this is. I think these were shoes. Oh, these were shoes that I bought. A sticker from some shoes. That was a good little price. All right, so let's go to if creation is finished and all events are taking place now, the question that springs naturally to the mind is what determines your time track? That is what determines the events which you encounter. And the answer is your concept of yourself. This is what Neville is telling y'all. Okay? Concepts determine the route that attention flows. Here's a good test to prove this fact. Assume the feeling that your wish is fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. So assume that you have the thing you desire to have and observe what direction your thoughts. Let's just say you assume that you're going to get the job that you go out for. Let's just do it something that most people want. Let's assume that you're going to go out for the job, and in your mind, you already applied for the job, but in your mind, you're imagining yourself having a job. You already in your mind assume that you're going to get this job, so you already went out and bought your uniform. You already started laying out your stuff for work because you're assuming that you're going to get this position. Remember, we're not talking about the rest of the world. We're talking about master manifestors here. We assume that we're going to have something in advance of having it because we know that helps us to get into alignment with getting that position or getting that thing. So as soon as you start to assume that you have that thing, Neville is telling you to observe the direction that your thoughts go. Do you go to, this is not going to happen. This is silly. Why am I even doing this? They may not even call me. They probably have so many other people that they're going to, look at before me. I'm probably not even the most qualified. If your thoughts go in that direction when you're playing out in your head your desired reality, then that should be an indicator that you're not in alignment. Because a person in alignment would be like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to start this job. Okay, I got my clothes laid out. okay, let me prepare for my day, for my first day, because I know they're probably going to do orientation with me. You would be excited about the thing that you desire to have as if you already have it. Case in point, when I went out for a job at the airport, it took them like a month to finally get me an orientation. And I went through so many like phone call interviews. I had to go up to the airport twice to interview. It was a lot. But from the moment that I got the first interview up until a month and a half when I finally was in the airport on my first day of the job, in between that time, I never doubted that I was having that job. I even went online to see the badge that the people at the airport wear, because you have to take a test. Like, you have to go through background. If you work at the airport, that means that you ain't got no criminal record, because they run you through the ringer at the airport. And you have to have a badge which gives you clearance and a thumbprint for you to go in between different parts of the airport. So your badge is like your clearance. And I went online and I saw the badge. I went to like a craft store and I made myself a little makeshift badge, and I hung it up next to the outfit, which was black slacks and like a button down shirt for a manager. I hung it up on the back of the door in our apartment with the badge, because I assumed that I was getting this position. I didn't give a damn if they was taking longer than normal to get me in the job. And they kept saying, oh, okay. And then I finally got the call 2 weeks after the interview that I got hired. So then they sent me the offer letter, but I had already been imagining the offer letter as well. So my thoughts were going to the offer letter. Okay, I got the offer letter already. I was beyond that. I had already imagined that. I had already imagined that after the first interview. I went on to like, okay, I have the job. My uniform is up on the door, and I was just waiting for my first day to start. So I'm telling you my story to tell you, where does your mind go when you are thinking about the version of yourself that has the thing you desire to have? Does it go to like all the things that could go wrong, or are you preparing yourself as if you already have it? Because that energy and that momentum is actually what helps you to get it. And yes, you're going to have to put some type of mental effort. Yes. I don't know what these people are teaching y'all out here where they tell, oh, you just think it and then it happens. That happens for a very small amount of people, where they can just think something and then it just pops up. Most of us have to at least put some type of mental effort. And there's nothing wrong with mental effort. It's very easy to do. Close your eyes. See yourself with the thing you desire to have right before bed, 5 minutes before bed. That is like the easiest thing ever to do. And if you're not a good visualizer, or you feel like you're not a good visualizer, which we all can visualize for the most part, then hear an inner conversation. Hear yourself receiving good news. Hear somebody congratulating you. Hear yourself talking to your friend that's telling you how proud they are of you. Use your imagination, whether you're an auditory person or a visual person. There's no excuse at this point in 2026 for us not to be manifesting our desired reality. Even with these old school teachings, these teachings are timeless. They don't ever go away, right? They don't. Hi V Rose 8888. I love that angel number. Thank you so much. So the last thing he says, and then we're gonna wrap this up, it says, because we were talking about self-concept. And remember yesterday we were talking about your self-concept is how you see yourself. It's like how do you feel about yourself, how you see yourself? Do you see yourself as capable? Do you see yourself as a person that can actually accomplish things? Do you see yourself as a disciplined person? Do you see yourself as a worthy person? Are you worthy of having things? Do you see yourself in the world as someone who people treat with respect? So your concept of yourself is how you see yourself, not how other people see you. We don't give a damn about how they see us. We don't care about what other people think about us. You care about what you think about you, because how you think about you is more important, because the way you feel about yourself and how you see yourself is going to be reflected to you in other people. I was literally telling my husband today, people love skipping me on the line. That's an assumption that I have. But what they find out is when you try to skip me, I'm gonna tell you, excuse me, what are you doing? I'm on the line. I had to tell somebody today earlier, excuse me, sir. I'm online. Oh, okay. Well, the line's back there, just so you know. And then I have an assumption that people do this to me because I'm small and I have a very light energy. I come across very nice, very kind, very pleasant. But my scales can go either way. I'm a Libra. You can tip them scales either way. I can be very sweet, very kind, and if you pull me out of my character, I can tell you to get the hell on. It could go either way you want it to go. I choose to walk in light and love. My scales are very balanced. I choose to walk in light and love. But my concept of myself is that I deserve to have respect, and you're not going to just skip the line because you have one thing in your hand and there's 10 people behind you. Why you skip me? Why you skip the man in front of me? Why you skip the girl behind me? You skip me. I have two things in my hand, you have one. Get your ass in the back of that line. I don't care. No. And so I have to remind myself, you have that assumption, Danny, that people skip you because you're small. Or they skip you because they think you're too nice. You know what I'm saying? That is an assumption that I have. And it is something that it doesn't come to me until it happens. But I'm just letting you all know, sometimes we have assumptions about ourselves that people reflect to us. I've always felt like I'm small and people always overlook me when I was a kid. So that is something that I've had to work through as a grown 40 something year old woman who is small and petite, and people still think they can run over me. I never told y'all that your assumptions, couldn't be things that you're still working through. I'm just letting you know that like your self-concept is a part of you being able to step into that reality where you get the things you desire to have. If you always tell yourself something that doesn't serve you and you keep experiencing it, then you have to tell a new story. I have to tell myself that no, people are not skipping you because you're small. They're skipping you because they're assholes. How arrogant are you to think that you have the right to skip 10 people behind us that's been standing on the line for 20 minutes because you got one thing in your hand and I got two? How dare you? Get your ass to the back of that line. Oh my goodness. So all I'm saying is that like make a new assumption about the thing that you feel like is holding you back, right? And to wrap this up, it says, the same is true regarding any concept. If your concept of yourself is that you are a failure, you will encounter in your imagination a whole series of incidents in which it will conform that to your concept. That's what I just said. Thus, it is clearly seen how you, by your concept of yourself, determine your presence. That is the particular portion of creation which you are now experiencing, in your future. That is the particular portion of creation which you will experience. So let's make better assumptions about ourselves. Let's assume that only good follows us. Let's assume that people love being around us, that people treat us with respect, that we always have opportunities coming to us from all over the place. Assume that you are a person that people love to work with. If you're a business person, if you have clients, assume that people pay you your value. Assume that you are a person that people want to pay top dollar because they know that you are somebody that they would benefit from. Assume that you are a lovable person and that any person that wants to be in your life in any type of manner, relationship wise, is going to treat you with the most utmost respect. Make those assumptions, right? So we're coming up on an hour. I want to say thank you for V Rose 888, Edoble P13, Kelly, for being here. Neo Soul Healing 2391, which is Miss Cherry, says, yes, only good follows me and everything always works out in my favor. Now, before we get out of here, and for those who are going to be watching this on the replay, I want to show you all what we're doing over here on the SKOOL community. So I do have a community. It's called Soul Align AI Mastery Lab. And basically what we're doing over here is I'm teaching spiritual women how to create faceless channels, grow your beautiful platforms, income streams. And I want you to be able to still do this while you're being fed with daily inspiration, with classes, with courses on how to create more money in your life, digital products, and how to navigate using AI. Now, whether you're using AI for personal use or whether you're using AI for faces channels, online or business, we cannot get left behind. So this is definitely going to be heavily taught in this SKOOL community with tools and how to make more money and how to get yourself in alignment with a person who has money coming from everywhere. So if you're a creative person, you want to have a faces channel, you love AI manifestation music, you can learn how to make your own. I know you all love my music, but I have Christina Cherry, not Christina Cherry, I'm sorry. Christina Cherry is a young lady I used to work with. Miss Cherry that's here, Andrea Cherry, she's here. She has a beautiful channel. If you look down here, literally she's in the chat right now. Neo Soul Healing, go to her channel. She has an amazing channel on how to heal. It's beautiful music. It's created by her own thoughts, her own energy, using AI tools that she's been taught in the membership. So please go subscribe to her channel. You will not be disappointed. And for all of my beautiful ladies who have started their channels in the past 3 weeks, you all know I'm going to be promoting you because you all have amazing channels, right? It's just that Miss Sherry is here. This is why I call Miss Sherry Cherry, because sometimes I accidentally call her Christina because there's a young lady that I used to work with very closely with, and her name is Christina Cherry. That's I'm like, are y'all related? And both y'all, so that I don't trip up, I always call her Miss Cherry. But so if you go over here to the Soul Line right now, I just want to show you all some of the classrooms that I have. So the first, as soon as you join the Zoom, the SKOOL community, you're going to have access to just AI tools and how to get started with being creative, prompting. We have a Chat GPT workshop that's going on tomorrow at 12 noon. It's for free. As soon as you, like I said, if you join for free, you're going to be getting a lot of beautiful information. You're going to be getting access to me. But I want you to know that, like, come in now, because if you wait till later, it's going to be opportunities for you to still communicate, but it's going to be also paid tiers. So the classroom is basically how to create AI music channels, creating talking avatars. Then you have manifesting more money, the mindset and self-concept, creating your desired reality, manifestation topics, esoterical topics. I even have for my beautiful melanated, beautiful Black women, prompting for Black people, meaning like using prompts that help you to get your avatars to look in alignment with Black culture, because sometimes they don't be getting it. And so I've learned how to finagle AI so that we get the representation that we need. Also, if you have ADHD or you're neurodivergent, or you're a person that tends to suffer from procrastination or any type of like anxiety, I have a classroom that is for, addressing those issues without any type of medical advice or anything. Tools to help you to get in alignment with like calming the brain down, calming your mind and your nervous system down. And here's a course I'm working on, using AI to manifest. That's one that I think I had to add. So it's in draft because I'm working on that one right now. And Suno is my AI music production course. Canva editing, that's for those of you who are starting Faces channels. DistroKid is for those of you who want to do music professionally, AI music professionally. There's a legal aspect that goes into that. So this is basically what the SKOOL community that I created is for. Is I want to see you all win. I want you all to have more money in your life. I want you to have more financial abundance so that you can relax, that you can have like a good life. I'm not saying you can't have a good life without money, but I'm just saying that, like, there's too much money floating around for you not to have multiple sources of income. And you don't have to be on camera. And you can learn how to use AI with 5 tools, 5 AI app tools that I use, that I teach in my memberships. Okay. So go ahead and join. Right now we're at 64 members in the last week and a half. I think that's pretty good. I want to get to 100. I would love to get to 100. I wanted to get to 100 by March 1st, but we'll see. We only got a couple of days left, but if that doesn't happen, I'm okay. I just want people to join because they see the value in joining now before the community is a paid community, right? Uh-oh. Okay, well, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. And guess what? I'm gonna try to do this more often. I have a lot of work to do for my members. We're wrapping up our boot camp, our 3-week boot camp. If you're interested in really learning AI tools, like where you want more one-on-one interaction with me, then just go to the description box down below. You can check out the 3-week boot camp. When you purchase that boot camp after the February boot camp that we have, basically I just start you from the purchase date and you reach out to me personally, and then I'll be able to communicate with you week by week. And you'll also have access to my paid membership called the Soul Line for Heart-Based Entrepreneurs and Content Creators for up to 40 days when you purchase the 3-week boot camp. Okay, because I want you to actually have the access to be able. So that's, you basically have access to the membership for about 2 months for the 3-week boot camp when you purchase it after any of my live courses that I do. All right. You all take care of yourself. Remember, before you go to bed, 5 minutes before bed, what are you thinking about? This is the prime time for you to manifest. Remember that. Use your time and your energy wisely. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.